Hey guys, it's Mark from Lot More Guitar Studio and lotmoreguitar.com, and in this lesson I'm going to show you some chord fills that you can do in the G shape of your caged major scale forms. So I'm going to play it in C, but it's the G shape. So I've got my pinky here on the 8th fret of the 6th string. Not the best strumming chord, but it's a great one for fills. So the first thing I like to teach my students to do is to get from the more common A shape into the G shape. And I do that by kind of sliding on the 5th string. In this case, if I'm in C, I'm going to slide from the 5th fret to the 7th, and then put my first finger where my 3rd finger was. So, and that puts you in this nice position where you have the major pentatonic scale here. And then you can bar your first finger and hammer on some of the other strings. So you want to hammer on the 5th string. And when I'm doing that, I'm letting the 4th string kind of ring out with it. Then I have the 4th string here. And then the 3rd string. And on each one of those, I'm letting that string above it ring out. Okay? So that would be a first lick that you can do, is kind of come down the strings. So I did that kind of 16th notes here, and then 8th notes here. And I am playing the root there with my pinky. You can also go back to the 3rd fret of the 5th string if you want. But that's a nice little connection there. Okay, so the next lick I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer on the 5th string and just strum the 4th string and 3rd string on the 5th fret. And then I'm going to come back to that string, the 5th string on the 7th. So, okay, then I'm going to quickly hammer on the 4th string. So I'm kind of simultaneously hammering on and picking here, which is one thing I want to mention. Jimi Hendrix does that a lot. When you're kind of like picking and hammering at the same time, you get this nice sound. So I'm going to hammer on the 4th string, then pick the 5th fret, and then 7th fret and 5th fret together, and then all the way down to the root. So very similar to this. The next one I want to do is I'm going to hammer on the 7th fret of the 4th string. But in this case, I'm going to actually do a hammer on where I let it have 2 separate notes. So I'm going to pick the 5th fret, hammer on the 7th, and then back to the 5th fret. And I'm playing here the 4th string and 3rd. So maybe I'll get the 2nd to ring also. So. When I come down to the 5th string, now I'm going to do the 8th fret, 5th string. Then I'm going to go back to the 5th fret of the 5th and 4th strings and end on the 7th fret of the 5th string. So I have very similar to a little wing type fill there. That's another note that I could add, which is part of the major scale, is the 4th, and that would be the 8th fret of the 5th string. So you can kind of experiment with ways to do that. These are just a couple of moves here, but that's the basic vocabulary. You can hammer on and pull off. You could separate all the notes. In other words, where you hear them all. You could do the simultaneous picking and hammering. But the main point is that you want to get more than one string ringing all the time. Okay, this is another launching point also for thirds, where if you just play the 3rd and 2nd string together, then I can play the 7th fret and the 6th fret. I'm using my 2nd and 3rd fingers, but you can always experiment with different fingers. If I slide those up to the 9th and 8th, I get that nice 3rd lick also. Very similar to a brown-eyed girl. But you can hammer on and off those and use those for licks. Okay? You can also do fourths, which would be the 7th fret of the 3rd string and the 8th fret of the 2nd string. I could grab those and just kind of slide up 2 frets. So I'm moving out of position there, but it's a nice lick. So those are thirds, fourths. Alright, some great fills in that position. So again, come up with your own variations. You could also do the top 2 strings. But really remember, the main point is that you're letting at least 2 strings ring when you do the hammer-ons. And as with the other chord forms, these all transpose. So you can bring it up to D just by moving your pinky to the 10th fret. Okay, that's what's great about these forms. So have some fun with those, and we'll take a look at some of the others in the next video. Thanks.